Favorite duos right now on the internet. Courtney Williams, Natisha Heideman, talking about how crazy the All-Star voting is going right now for the Indiana Fever. And then, of course, we have Caitlin Clark.
Courtney Williams just ignited a wildfire of discourse with a series of unfiltered revelations regarding the WNBA All-Star ballot spectacle. Her candid dissection of Caitlin Clark's meteoric sway and the Indiana Fever's overwhelming presence in the voting narrative has sent reverberations rippling through the league's corridors. In one corner, athletes and aficionados alike are heralding her forthrightness, praising her for voicing what many whisper behind closed.
Wasn't it like, how many people? There was a lot of people from Indiana on there.
Hell yeah, it was like their whole starting five was in the top. Their whole starting five was on that list. Their whole starting five, even folks that came
doors. In the opposite camp, murmurs of dissent rise, with skeptics wondering if her candor crossed into imprudence. Did Courtney Williams pierce through a veil of curated silence to spotlight a skewed system? Or did she tiptoe into territory better left untouched? Her outburst has cracked open a larger dialogue. Is it valor to call out imbalance? Or vanity masked as virtue?
Came off their bench was on that list, bro. No cap. That's crazy, bro. But that really show you the influence that like Caitlin Clark got, bro.
No, that is, bro. People,
her influence is insane.
And people
bro.
try to say that, like, what?
Like,
man,
come on,
I'm stuttering. Like, come on, G. Like, let's just state the fact.
Like,
bro.
this
You
folks
talking
coming
about
off
state
for,
the
like,
fact,
come on, bro.
Hold on, pause the outrage for a second. Before diving headfirst into this whirlwind of controversy, let's untangle the mess and bring clarity to what actually transpired. Because if you've only seen the headlines or caught the social media echo chamber, you might think Courtney Williams launched a full-scale verbal assault on Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. That's pure distortion. Here's the unvarnished truth. Courtney Williams, veteran guard for the Minnesota Lynx, seasoned in WNBA battle since 2016, was casually chopping it up on a live stream alongside teammate Natisha Heideman. The topic? The initial wave of the 2025 WNBA All-Star voting results. Simple, right? But then Williams made a few pointed remarks, nothing nuclear, nothing malicious, and suddenly the internet combusted. Her words were yanked out of context, race-spun, and fed through the outrage machine until they barely resembled what was actually said. This isn't a smear campaign. It's just another case study in how nuance gets devoured in the age of viral spin.
Come on, bro. You got folks coming off of her bench, like off of their bench, that's in that top 40, bro. Like, her influence is crazy. Like, you can't even hate on it, because it's like,
You got motion.
you got like real deal motion.
You got motion, bro.
Real deal motion, bro. She got real deal motion. Like, that's...
Let's set the record completely straight. Courtney Williams wasn't screaming conspiracy or claiming the voting process was tampered with. In fact, she was doing the polar opposite. She was praising Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, handing them their well-earned recognition with no trace of resentment. Now, let's dig into the sheer absurdity of those all-star numbers. Caitlin Clark is dominating, no exaggeration. She's perched at the summit of the leaderboard with a jaw-dropping 515,993 votes. That's over 500,000 individuals who went out of their way to show support. Behind her is Nafisa Collier, Williams' own teammate on the Minnesota Lynx, clocking in at for 184,758 a strong showing, but still trailing Clark by more than 30,000 votes. But here's where the plot twists into surreal territory. For Indiana Fever players have landed in the top 10 . Clark reigns at no. 1, of course. Aliyah Boston is right behind at no. 3 with 446,961 ***. Kelsey Mitchell holds the 7th slot with 207,760 for ***, and Lexi Hull is chilling at 9th with *** 117,000 for 138 ***. That's nearly half of the top 10 repping the Fever colors. And it doesn't end there. ***, of the top 40 vote getters are from Indiana's roster. Yes, 8. That tally includes bench warmers pulling in more votes than veteran stars across the league. We're talking about names like Darius Dantis and Dana Bonner being floated into the all-star stratosphere simply for being Clark's teammate.
So today, lads, we're going to be talking about this, and we're going to be talking about Courtney Williams and Natisha Heideman, who are, again, what is it? Like, the podcast called like what, Stud Buds or something. Like it is big enough. And Courtney Williams, by the way, there is a big reason why Courtney Williams is like
That's what Courtney Williams was pointing out, asterisk, not complaining, asterisk, just observing, on the live stream. She broke it down plain and honest. Greater than the whole starting five was on that list. Even folks that came off the bench was on that list. Bro, no cap. That's crazy, bro. But that really show you the influence that Caitlin Clark got. And then came the line that echoed everywhere. Greater than her influence is insane, bro. You got folks coming off of their bench that's in that top 40, like, her influence is crazy. You can't even hate on it. You can't even hate on it. That right there isn't slander. That's asterisk respect asterisk. That's someone standing in awe of a phenomenon. Acknowledging the gravity of Clark's cultural pull without bitterness, Williams didn't cry foul. She didn't call the system broken. She was just highlighting the very real tidal wave of attention Clark brings and how it's lifting her entire squad to places they wouldn't otherwise be. But this is social media. We're talking about where nuance is a relic and outrageous currency. The moment a Lynx player mentioned the Fever's dominance in votes, the internet took the wheel and twisted the narrative. Suddenly, Williams was accused of jealousy, of suggesting foul play, of throwing shade. None of that was true. What actually happened was this: the seasoned pro made it grounded, clear-eyed observation about one player's gravitational pulling, the league, and instead of listening, folks decided to hear what the asterisk wanted asterisk to hear. Williams wasn't tearing down, she was lifting up, with honesty and zero ego.
like almost universally loved when it comes to the WNBA fan base, because Courtney Williams just says whatever the hell she thinks. Like, nothing is about agendas. She will say something occasionally that maybe will piss you off, but at the end of the day, you know it's not coming from a place of malice.
Courtney Williams didn't lash out, she leaned in. She recognized that the Indiana Fever's stunning voting surge wasn't some fluke or rigged system. It was a gravitational pull of Caitlin Clark's cultural magnetism, and instead of brewing bitterness, she offered something rare in the competitive trenches of pro sports: respect. This is precisely the mindset the WNBA desperately needs more of. Not envy, not sideways glances, but celebration. Because when Clark flourishes, the ripple effect elevates the entire league. Her stardom isn't just personal, it's catalytic. Let's not sugarcoat it. Though the all-star voting numbers are asterisk unhinged asterisk in the best and strangest way possible, Clark sits atop the mountain with an astronomical 515,993 asterisk votes. Behind her, Nafisa Collier trails by more than 30,000, a gap that highlights just how seismic Clark's presence truly is. But here's the part that bends reality. Asterisk asterisk for asterisk asterisk Indiana Fever players are in the asterisk asterisk top 10 asterisk asterisk. Aliyah Boston grabs the third slot. Kelsey Mitchell and Lexi Hull solid players, yes, but not exactly household names are comfortably within the top ranks. Even deeper, 8 Fever players crack the top 40. That's not normal. That's not accidental. It's a direct byproduct of Clark's aura. Bench players are being swept up in her undertow. Fans aren't just voting for Clark there, blanketing the roster with support. Take Lexi Hull, for example. She's a capable contributor off the bench. Is she one of the 10 best in the league? No. But she wears the right jersey. That's the secret sauce. Meanwhile, Angel Reese, who came in with immense hype as Clark's supposed rival, sits far lower on the leaderboard with around 173,000 votes. That puts her beneath multiple Fever players and shows how quickly the wind shifts in pro sports. Stardom is fickle. Narratives are fragile, and here's where Williams' commentary hits a deeper note. She didn't just notice Clark's popularity, she asterisk understood asterisk it. She called it real deal motion. That's not just a clever phrase, it's a precise description of what's happening. Clark is generating a halo effect that's lighting up her entire team. When fans show up for Clark, they're meeting the rest of the Fever. When they vote for her, they extend that energy to her teammates. This isn't manipulation, it's momentum. And it's powerful. Yet not everyone in the WNBA world is embracing it.
Is that the only person who's competing in votes with Caitlin Clark is Nafisa Collier. And I think every single fan of the Fever has voted in Nafisa Collier. Has also voted. And people are like, what is the largest fan base? Like, people in the media are complaining about,
There's a quiet undertow, some subtle, some louder discomfort around Clark's rapid ascent. Some players and pundits have implied that her spotlight is too bright, her praise too plentiful, her coverage somehow unjust. But Williams didn't fall into that trap. She didn't bite the jealousy bait. Instead, she elevated the conversation. She acknowledged what's obvious to anyone paying attention. Clark's impact is generational, and that's a win for everyone. Every extra set of eyes on an all-star ballot. Every new viewer tuning in to see what the Fever are doing at lifts. The league as a whole. And the timing of all this, icing on the cake. This year's All-Star Game is being hosted in Indianapolis. That's right, Clark's home court becomes the epicenter of the women's basketball universe. The Fever aren't just leading the vote, they're showcasing their city, their arena, and their momentum on the grandest stage. Yes, that kind of dominance can rattle some cages. But as Williams put it, you can't hate on it. This is the blueprint. This is what real success looks like in sports. When you've got a transcendent figure like Clark, everything in her orbit gets lifted. Teammates, ticket sales, television numbers, national relevance, and perhaps the biggest revelation. The Asterisk fans' Asterisk have changed. For years, the WNBA struggled to generate buzz outside its core loyalists. Now, people are so engaged they're casting all-star votes for bench players, simply because they care that deeply about their team. That's no longer casual viewership, that's Asterisk emotional investment Asterisk. When your fan base starts caring not just about the superstars, but about the 9th player on the roster, that's not a glitch, it's a breakthrough. That's what growth looks like. That's what longevity demands. And that's exactly what Caitlin Clark is bringing to the table. Not just points and passes, but a whole new pulse.
The Fever's votes, like, I was like, oh, it's ridiculous that Caitlin's top over Nafisa Collier. And like, man, if Fever fans did not vote, I'm telling you for a fact, Nafisa Collier will be back at 5th or 6th like she was last year.
Courtney Williams didn't just speak on voting numbers, she also addressed the ever-present storm. That brews on social media. In an age where every opinion becomes ammo, she offered simple, sage advice. If someone's online content irritates, you don't argue, just block, scroll, and carry on. Let the noise pass, preserve your peace. That mindset is a mirror for how players should handle Caitlin Clark's skyrocketing stardom. Rather than bristling at the attention Clark commands or trying to diminish it, the league's athletes would be better served embracing the momentum. Because Clark's ascent isn't a threat, it's Asterisk rising tide, Asterisk lifting all boats, more fans, more revenue, more eyeballs on the WNBA than ever before. That's not something to resent, it's something to rally behind. The response to Williams' live stream has been largely positive, and that speaks volumes. People can sense when someone's being real. She didn't dance around the truth or sugarcoat the obvious imbalance in voting figures. She saw what was happening, named it clearly, and gave credit where it belonged. That kind of grounded honesty is rare and refreshing. It's also the sort of steady leadership the WNBA desperately needs from its veteran voices. Williams isn't new to this. She's been in the trenches since 2016. She's seen the league evolve from a niche battleground into a growing force with cultural clout. So, when she acknowledges the Asterisk unprecedented Asterisk surge in fan engagement that Clark has ushered in, it hits. Different that comes from experience, from perspective. Let's face it, this kind of passionate participation in all-star voting, it would have been unthinkable a few years ago. Back then, the average casual sports fan might have struggled to name a single WNBA roster, let alone pick out 5 players to vote for. Now, you've got hundreds of thousands tapping in, casting votes not just for MVP candidates, but for Asterisk, bench Asterisk, players and role fillers. That's a seismic shift, and it matters, because as more fans engage, more doors open, higher TV ratings, larger sponsorship deals, better visibility. Every bit of attention funnels back into opportunity for the athletes. Players across the board benefit, even those like Williams Ling's teammate, Asterisk Nafisa Collier Asterisk. Who's Asterisk for 184,758 Asterisk votes would have easily led the pack in earlier seasons. But in 2025, she's in 2nd place, just another testament to how far the bar has been raised. This is where the WNBA stands now, not just surviving, but evolving. And instead of fearing that change, players like Courtney Williams are showing exactly how to embrace it with maturity, clarity, and grace. She's not just talking, she's teaching.
She came in on stream and just ranted about how these people hating on Fee are crazy. Like, it is what it is. At the end of the day, Courtney Williams knows the internet is the internet. And that's one of the things when it comes to these players. Like, if you know the internet's the internet, and you're able to just go out there, and she's probably has the benefit. She didn't have to go overseas or play in AU. She made a ton of money in Unrivaled. She's probably making a ton more money in endorsements this year than last year. This podcast is probably going to make them a ton of money over time because...
The fact that Nafisa Collier sits in second place behind Caitlin Clark in the All-Star voting shouldn't be seen as a knock against her. If anything, it underscores just how wildly the fan landscape around the WNBA has shifted. The league's atmosphere is no longer defined by niche circles, it's expanding, loudly and quickly. Collier's Minnesota Lynx aren't just good, they're dominant, with a scorching 11-1 record. They're arguably the most complete team in the league right now, yet, despite their performance, they don't command the same media obsession or fan frenzy as the Indiana Fever. That contrast could easily stir resentment, but for Courtney Williams, it hasn't. She's choosing grace, rather than grow bitter over her team's lack of spotlight. Williams is acknowledging a larger truth. The Fever's surge in popularity is a rising tide for everyone. Her perspective reveals a rare, seasoned kind of maturity, a clear-eyed recognition that the spotlight on Caitlin Clark is not zero-sum. When Clark brings new eyes to the court, the entire league reaps the benefits. That's the bigger picture, and it's exactly what the WNBA has been striving toward for years. Clark isn't just a great player, she's a gateway. She's brought in a legion of new fans who otherwise wouldn't have looked twice at a WNBA box score. These fans aren't poring over stat sheets or comparing efficiency ratings. They're showing up for asterisk her asterisk, and through her, they're discovering the rest of the league. No marketing department could have manufactured this kind of organic explosion in engagement. Williams sees that. She isn't crying foul over the voting imbalance or dismissing Clark's gravity. She's leaning into reality, acknowledging that in today's sports world, fan bases form around personalities before teams. And Clark's personality is driving unprecedented attention. It's not unjust. It's not rigged. It's evolution. That kind of emotional intelligence, especially from someone playing for a direct competitor, is rare. Williams could have easily pointed out the absurdity of bench players on the Fever leapfrogging her high-performing teammates in votes, but she didn't. Instead, she gave flowers where they were due. And that's what sets her apart, because let's be honest, some figures in the WNBA ecosystem haven't handled Clark's rise with that same grace. Over the past year, there have been quiet jabs, open skepticism, even waves of bitterness from both players and media figures. Some questioned why she garners so much attention. Others tried to downplay her impact. Courtney Williams did none of that. She embraced the reality. She celebrated what it means. And she modeled the type of leadership that pushes a league forward, not holds it back. Her comments remind us that growth doesn't always look the way we expect. Sometimes it comes wrapped in someone else's spotlight. Sometimes your team doesn't get the love it deserves. But the truly wise players, the ones who understand the long game, see the value in collective elevation. The WNBA is evolving, and players like Courtney Williams are helping steer that evolution with clarity, class, and a steady hand. In a moment where she could have complained, she chose to uplift. And that's exactly the kind of voice women's basketball needs more of right now. Courtney Williams' remarks serve as a turning point, not just in how players respond to media narratives, but in how the WNBA can define its future with dignity, rather than division. She could have easily leaned into the noise, fed the outrage machine, and thrown some...
Your problem? What I told you on the bed. Tell them what I told you on the bed. You remember?
No. Your problem? I don't know.
I said, you that one. She sat down and I said, I can't believe you really that one.
Subtle shots at the league's latest headline magnet. But she didn't, instead. She grounded her commentary in realism, in fairness, and forward thinking. She understands that what Caitlin Clark represents is far larger than one player's fame. It's a cultural swell that the league has been hoping for, praying for, even for decades. It's not just about the all-star ballots. It's not about who's sitting on the bench or who's getting screen time. It's about legacy building, visibility, and turning momentum into permanence. Williams' willingness to praise the Fever, even as her own team dominates the standings, isn't weakness, it's leadership. In fact, it might be one of the strongest examples of professional integrity the league has seen this season. She's not measuring value by how many highlights she gets on ESPN. She's looking at the whole canvas, the league, the fans, the growth, and deciding to support that progress. Even when the spotlight misses her, it's rare, and it's powerful. This moment, these voting numbers, this well of attention may be chaotic, even confusing, but it is asterisk meaningful asterisk. It's the manifestation of years of effort from women who fought for this league's survival. From packed college arenas to soaring jersey sales, to digital traffic blowing past expectations. This is a dream arriving, even if it's not in the form everyone imagined. And the reality is this: players like Caitlin Clark don't just draw fans. They create asterisk ecosystems, asterisk whole environments of buzz, loyalty, and sustained relevance. That's the difference between stardom and superstardom.
I mean, we be sometimes like just seeing what she do out there, bro. It's like, damn, I'm a part of this. Like, I'm really seeing this girl go crazy, and I'm her teammate, so I'm gonna keep campaigning for her, man. The numbers don't lie. Obviously, our team not as good as we is if she don't show up the way she show up every game, every practice, every day. So, come on, man. Everybody gotta see it. It ain't rocket science.
And instead of rejecting, Williams is choosing to be part of it. Her approach is a blueprint for how veteran players can contribute to the league's expansion, not just through stats or wins, but through grace, through perspective, and through understanding the long game. It's about passing the torch without losing your flame. Courtney Williams didn't just comment on a viral topic. She embodied what it means to lead in the modern WNBA, where success isn't always evenly distributed, but opportunity is growing for all. And if more players adopt that lens, the league won't just grow, it'll thrive. What Courtney Williams did wasn't performative, it wasn't calculated, it was authentic, and that's exactly why it resonated. Her words cut through the noise not because they were loud, but because they were asterisk measured asterisk. In a media environment that thrives on division, she chose unity. In a league often battling for mainstream relevance, she chose to amplify the moment, rather than critique its source, and in doing so, she set a tone others would be wise to follow. This is where the WNBA finds itself in 2025, not just competing for wins, but competing for asterisk guys asterisk, competing for culture, for narratives, for attention in a sports world saturated with noise. And Caitlin Clark, whether by design or destiny, has become the league's loudest signal. She's not just a player, she's a movement. And movements don't operate within the usual metrics, they cause shifts. They pull energy toward them. Clark is doing that at a historic rate, bringing in fans, elevating ticket sales, fueling broadcast deals, and lighting up highlight reels. The old logic where accolades are earned purely on tenure or numbers doesn't fully apply anymore. The game has changed, but Williams understands that. She knows this isn't about fairness in the traditional sense. It's about asterisk momentum asterisk, about capitalizing on rare energy. The fever's wave of votes isn't a glitch, it's a signal. The system isn't broken, it's being supercharged by a once-in-a-generation presence, and it's working. What Courtney Williams chose to do with her platform is more than just commentary, it's legacy work. She saw the spark and poured fuel on it instead of trying to extinguish it. That matters. Because players like her who have been in the league long before the TV cameras showed up, and droves know how hard-won this growth is. They've seen the empty arenas, the half-hearted coverage, the silent seasons. They know what it means to asterisk not asterisk be seen. And now that the spotlight is finally here, she's not asking, why her? She's asking, how can we keep this going? That mindset is gold. It's how the WNBA transitions from a league fighting for coverage to a league commanding it. It's how the league scales not just in dollars, but in depth, in meaning, in culture. So, when we look back at this moment in time, the 2025 All-Star voting, the media frenzy around Indiana, the surging fan bases, it won't just be about Caitlin Clark's stardom. It'll be about how players like Courtney Williams asterisk responded asterisk to it. And in choosing grace over grievance, she didn't just lift Clark, she lifted the whole game.